You know, if you're like me, navigating our 70s and beyond, there's this real focus on staying vibrant, staying healthy.
Absolutely. It becomes a priority.
It really does. And we're always looking for those smart choices, things that make a difference. And that's often come up, don't they? Feel-good snacks, healthy reputation.
They certainly do. A very common go-to.
But I've been wondering, and maybe you have too, are all nuts really created equal when we're older? Are some, well, maybe less ideal?
That's a fantastic question. And it's exactly what we should unpack today because, while lots of nuts are nutritional powerhouses, our bodies change. How we process things isn't the same as it was.
Right. Things hit differently.
Exactly. Foods that were perfectly fine might have, well, different effects later on. So our goal here is really to clarify which nuts offer the best advantages for people over 70. And maybe flag a few where a little caution might be wise.
That sounds perfect because we've been looking at, expert recommendations specifically focused on health for older adults. And it's not just a simple nuts are good story, is it?
Not at all. It's much more nuanced. It's about which nuts and how they fit into our overall health picture as we age.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Where should we start? Which nuts should be top of the list for us?
Well, let's begin with a real champion for healthy aging, the walnut, often called brain food.
Ah, yes, I've heard that. Brain food. Why is that?
It's largely down to their high concentration of omega-3 fatty acids. These aren't just any fats, they're essential fats, really vital for supporting cognitive function. Think of it as nourishment for your brain cells.
Okay, omega-3s, let's explore that. How exactly do they help our brains as we get older? Because, keeping mentally sharp is a huge deal for so many of us.
It really is. And one major factor in age-related cognitive decline is inflammation. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatories. They help calm that inflammation down. And that, in turn, can help protect against conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. Plus, research suggests they can positively impact memory and concentration.
So, like a tune-up for the brain.
You could think of it that way, yes.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to stay mentally active, engaged.
That's really encouraging. So just adding some walnuts could potentially give memory a bit of a boost.
That's the potential, yes. And there's more. Walnuts are also packed with antioxidants.
Right, antioxidants, they fight off damage, don't they?
Precisely. Damage from unstable molecules called free radicals. These free radicals can build up and contribute to all sorts of age-related issues, heart disease, arthritis, you name it. So the antioxidants in walnuts help fight that cellular stress.
Makes sense. Do we have any sort of real-world examples? Does it actually work?
Well, we can think about someone like George, a retired teacher, 74, loved his crosswords, but started noticing those little memory slips, forgetting names, where he put things.
Happens to the best of us.
His doctor suggested boosting his omega-3s. So George started having just a small handful of walnuts, maybe with his breakfast. And over time, he felt sharper, more focused. Even his family noticed he was more alert.
Wow. Just from walnuts.
A simple change, but noticeable results for him.
That's compelling. And easy. What about other benefits? Heart health, maybe?
Oh, definitely. Walnuts are excellent for heart health, too.
Yeah.
They can help lower that LDL, the bad cholesterol.
Okay.
And improve blood circulation. Plus, and this is key for many older adults, they're relatively low in carbs, so they're generally fine even if you're watching blood sugar.
Good to know.
Of course, they're calorie-dense, nutrient-dense, and calorie-dense. So portion size is important.
Yeah.
A small handful is usually the way to go.
Right, so a small handful, big benefits for brain and heart. And versatile. Salads, yogurt, just snacking. Oh, great start. What's next?
Next up, let's talk almonds, another real nutrient-dense all-rounder, you might say.
Almonds, yes.
Yeah.
Very popular.
And for good reason. They have this great balance of healthy fats, protein, and fiber. That combination is fantastic for steady energy release. Helps avoid those blood sugar spikes and dips.
Consistent energy, yes, that's so important. And heart health again, I assume?
Certainly. Those monounsaturated fats and the fiber are great for arteries, good blood flow, helps reduce heart disease risk. But almonds also have something particularly good for seniors. Lots of vitamin E.
Vitamin E, that's an antioxidant too, right? What's the specific benefit there for us?
Exactly, a potent antioxidant.
Yeah.
And it's particularly good for protecting skin cells. As we age, skin can get drier and more fragile.
Oh, definitely.
Vitamin E helps fight the oxidative stress that contributes to that. It can potentially slow down some visible signs of aging, support healthier skin from the inside.
That's great. Not just internal health, but feeling good in our skin, too. What about bones? I think I heard almonds are good for bones.
Absolutely crucial point, yes.
Yeah.
Maintaining mobility, preventing falls, it's all linked to bone strength. Almonds are a good source of magnesium and calcium. Both vital for strong bones, helping prevent bone loss, fractures. Osteoporosis is a big concern. So if you're maybe not getting much dairy, almonds can be a really helpful addition.
That makes sense. Do we have a story like George, but for almonds?
We do. Think of Margaret, 69, retired nurse, always health conscious. She noticed her skin getting drier, and she was mindful of bone health family history.
Okay.
Her doctor suggested almonds. She added a small handful daily, and after a few months, she really noticed her skin looked better, felt healthier. Plus, she just felt more confident knowing she was supporting her bones.
That's wonderful. Again, small changes, big impact potentially. Skin, bones, heart, quite the package. Anything else on almonds?
Just a quick tip, go for the unsalted kind. Always best to avoid that extra sodium for heart health.
Good advice. Okay, so walnuts for brain and heart, almonds for all-around nutrition, skin, bones. What's nut number 3 on our good list?
Our third champion is the pistachio. Sometimes a bit overlooked, perhaps?
Pistachios, I do like them. Feel like a treat. What are their superpowers?
Well, they're surprisingly packed with antioxidants, fiber, healthy fats, a really diverse set of benefits. Let's start with the heart again.
Okay.
They are loaded with antioxidants like lutein and gamma-tocopherol. These help reduce inflammation in blood vessels, protect them from damage. Really important as cardiovascular health becomes more of a focus.
So they actively help the blood vessels?
Oh, yes. And studies suggest regular pistachio consumption can help lower that bad LDL cholesterol and even increase the good HDL cholesterol. Better heart function, lower risk.
Fantastic. More than just tasty then. What else?
Another key benefit, and this is interesting, their impact on blood sugar. They have a low glycemic index.
Meaning
Meaning they don't cause sharp spikes in blood sugar. They help keep levels more stable. Incredibly helpful if you're managing diabetes or prediabetes. The fiber, protein, and healthy fats slow down sugar absorption.
that's a huge plus. Any examples there?
Think of Daniel, 71, managing his blood sugar for years. His doctor suggested more stabilizing foods. He swapped his usual sugary afternoon snack for a small handful of pistachios.
And
Readings improved. Plus, he said he felt fuller for longer, which helped him avoid extra snacking. Small change, noticeable health impact.
amazing how these little swaps work. Any other pistachio points?
Yes, digestion. Often overlooked, but so important. Pistachios are actually quite high in fiber compared to some other nuts.
Okay.
That fiber promotes regularity, supports good gut bacteria. Really helpful as digestive systems can change with age.
Good point. And I think I heard they might be better for weight management.
That's right. Compared to some nuts, they're naturally a bit lower in calories. They have a higher protein to fat ratio.
Interesting.
So they can be satisfying without packing quite as many calories.
Yeah.
And, the shells. Having to open each one slows you down, encourages mindful eating, helps prevent overdoing it.
Huh. The shell effect. I like that.
And again, unsalted is the
Yeah.
way to go if you can.
Okay, brilliant. Walnuts, almonds, pistachios, a great trio. Now, let's shift gears. Are there nuts we should maybe be a little more careful about?
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about cashews first. They're delicious, very popular.
Very creamy.
Exactly. But there are a couple of potential downsides, particularly for seniors, that are worth being aware of.
Okay, cashews. Hidden risks. What are they?
Well, one main thing is their oxalate content. It's relatively high.
Oxalates. What does that mean for us?
Oxalates are natural compounds, but for people prone to kidney stones, a high intake can increase risk. And kidney issues, unfortunately, can become more common as we age.
Okay, so if you have kidney concerns.
It might be wise to moderate cashew intake, or maybe even avoid them. Unlike some nuts, their oxalate level is quite high.
Wow, I would never have guessed that. Anything else about cashews?
Well, they also have a slightly higher carbohydrate content compared to many other nuts, mostly natural sugars, but still.
So maybe a slight blood sugar bump?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
For someone carefully managing diabetes or blood glucose, it's just something to be mindful of. Not as low carb as walnuts or almonds, for example.
Got it. Any examples here?
Think of Helen, 68, loved cashews, started getting some kidney discomfort. Her doctor suggested the oxalates might be a factor.
And when she cut back?
Her discomfort eased up when she swapped them for lower oxalate nuts like almonds or walnuts.
Really shows how specific these things can be. What about calories and fat? Cashews seem rich.
They are relatively high in both, which means it's easy to eat quite a few calories without feeling super full. While they have healthy fats, that calorie density can contribute to unwanted weight gain.
Right. Especially if you're watching your weight.
Exactly. So for some seniors, kidney concerns, blood sugar, weight management, the potential downsides of cashews might, outweigh the benefits. Moderation is key, perhaps.
Okay, valuable heads up on cashews. Tasty, but handle with care in some cases. What's next on the caution list?
Next up, macadamia nuts. Oh, they taste wonderful, don't they? That rich, buttery flavor.
They really do, almost decadent.
But when we look closely at their nutritional profile for senior health, they might not be the best choice. They are exceptionally high in fat and calories.
Exceptionally high.
Yes. This could be a real issue for managing weight, heart health, cholesterol levels, especially as we get older.
Okay, break that down. Why are they less ideal?
Well, something like 75% of their calories come from fat. 75%.
Wow.
Now, some are healthy monounsaturated fats, that's true. But the sheer amount makes them incredibly calorie dense, one of the highest. Very easy to overeat calorie-wise in a small portion.
And less protein and fiber compared to others.
Exactly. Unlike almonds or walnuts, with that nice balance, macadamias are mostly fat. Less protein, less fiber to help you feel full and satisfied.
Makes sense. So lots of calories, less satiety.
Example, think of Robert, 73. Enjoyed macadamias, thought they were healthy, started noticing some weight creep.
Uh-oh.
His doctor pointed out that despite some good fats, the massive calorie hit without much protein or fiber was likely contributing. He switched to pistachios and almonds, found it easier to manage his weight.
A clear example. Even healthy foods need context. Any other drawbacks to macadamias?
Well, from a heart perspective, while they have monounsaturated fats, they lack those significant omega-3s you get in walnuts.
Right.
Or the high fiber of almonds or pistachios. So the cardiovascular benefits aren't quite as pronounced. Plus, they're often salted or flavored, adds extra sodium. Even unsalted, the high-fat calorie, lower nutrient balance makes them less optimal if you're really focusing on nutrition.
Okay. Delicious, maybe, but perhaps more of an occasional treat than a daily staple for health-focused seniors. Good to know. What's the final category we need to be careful with?
Lastly, and this is a big one, flavored or candied nuts.
The ones that taste really good.
Exactly. But it's crucial to understand that how nuts are processed can totally change their health profile, often for the worse. Raw or lightly roasted nuts, great. But those flavored, candied, heavily salted ones, they hide some real risks.
Okay, what are the main dangers there? Sugar, I imagine.
Sugar's a huge one. Honey roasted, chocolate coated, caramelized, they can send blood sugar levels soaring. Really problematic for anyone managing diabetes or prediabetes. Can contribute to insulin resistance over time.
Even the ones that don't seem that sweet.
Absolutely. You'd be surprised how much added sugar can be lurking. Always check the label.
And salt. You mentioned salted nuts earlier.
Yes, excessive sodium is another major issue. Many processed nuts are loaded with salt. This raises blood pressure, can cause fluid retention. Big concerns if you have heart conditions, kidney issues, or high blood pressure already. Puts extra strain on the system.
Got it. Do we have an example for flavored nuts?
Think of James, 70. He swapped chips for flavored nuts barbecue, honey roasted, thinking it was healthier.
Seems reasonable on the surface.
But his blood pressure started creeping up. He finally checked the labels, shocked by the sodium and sugar. He switched to plain, unsalted nuts. Felt better, blood pressure improved.
Wow. It really pays to read those labels, doesn't it? Even on seemingly healthy snacks. Any other nasties in flavored nuts?
Sometimes, yes.
No.
Artificial preservatives, unhealthy oils. Some even use hydrogenated oils containing trans fats.
Trans fats, those are definitely bad news.
The worst kind for heart health. They raise bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol, promote inflammation, really increase risk of heart attack, stroke. So, the best bet, stick with raw, unsalted nuts.
Or maybe roast them at home?
Perfect solution. Roast them lightly yourself, add your own herbs, spices. You control the ingredients completely. Keep it simple, keep it natural.
Excellent advice. So the preparation really matters.
Profoundly. Whole, unprocessed is the way to unlock the benefits without the downsides.
This has been incredibly insightful. So just to quickly recap, for us in our 70s and beyond, the stars seem to be walnuts, almonds, and pistachios. Great for brain, overall nutrition, heart, digestion.
Those are definitely the top contenders, offering broad benefits.
And then nuts to be more mindful of, maybe enjoy less often, or depending on individual health, would be cashews, macadamia nuts.
Right, due to oxalates, carbs, or very high fat and calories.
And definitely steer clear of most flavored or candied nuts because of the hidden sugars, salt, and unhealthy fats.
Exactly. It really boils down to making informed choices,
Mhm.
knowing that not all nuts are the same, especially for our needs now. Choosing the right ones in the right amounts is key.
It really is. This gives me, personally, a lot to think about with my own snacking habits. It's so helpful to have this clear guidance.
Well, I hope this deep dive has given you and everyone listening that clarity so you can make confident choices that really support your health and vitality through your 70s and beyond.
It certainly has for me, and maybe for you listening, take a moment. Think about your own nut habits. Based on what we've discussed, is there maybe one small change you could make? Swapping one nut for another, checking those labels more closely. Sometimes it's those small, consistent tweaks that add up to big health benefits down the road. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time.